Sell your product before you make it. How to leverage pre-sales and investors. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I am Director of Marketing at IdeaPros, and I have Ira Hayes. Hello, Ira.
How are you doing, Tessa?
Good, good. And for those of you who don't know Ira yet, he is IdeaPros strategic development team. Well, actually, he is the strategy behind what we're doing right now. So we're so privileged to have Ira on to talk about this pre-sales topic and really how to do it right so that you set yourself up. And so that's a process, isn't it?
It is absolutely a process, and thank you so much for having me here. As you can see, it's not casual Friday; it's a formal Friday, and so yes, it is. It's a building cycle, and everyone should be prepared for this ramp, this build. And so I think that's what we're going to discuss today. Is part of a little bit of what I've done for my journey, and then a little bit of like what I've learned that should be done or can be done even before you have your first product come off of a assembly line or your first app ever built.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I'm excited. Everyone's saying hi right now. So we have Kelly, Sean, Vanessa. Guys, if you are watching us live, hashtag live. And if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. We're going to dive right into this topic. One other thing I want to say is if you get anything from this conversation that's a nugget that you want to hold on to, hashtag nugget and just type it in, because it helps to really fuel us when we know that what we're producing for content is helping you. So let's check out there's three things specifically we're going to go over today. And the first one is about awareness. I'm actually going to put that up here as well. So awareness about you, your product.
Yes, absolutely. So this is the fundamental building block, I think, of especially launching your own idea. It's finding that piece that people will follow. And so you have to start to build awareness. And I know I felt this pain before where you're like, I can't tell anyone about this. I can't like expose like my vulnerability if someone else does this, but you really have to start to build that initial piece of awareness. And that can happen in many ways. And as we're seeing now, one of the ways that it happens, probably the most distributable, is to do an awareness presence online, which usually means things like collecting emails, figuring out how to get to your target audiences, and then building that, what we consider an avatar. Like, so building who I'm going to sell this to so that they're engaged and they're aware that I'm going to do something, I'm going to build something, and really promoting that. And so, yeah, that's a fundamental key first piece of like, hey, I have this great thing. We'll start building awareness around you and awareness around your idea. And a good one, and I'll just start off with this one. Person named Kelly wrote 1,000 True Fans in like 2006. And if you can find 1,000 people that will ardently follow you, ardently follow anything you do, you can really create a great lifestyle business off of that, a great business. 1,000 people paying $100 a year is $100,000. And that's an amazing start. So that awareness piece is so fundamental to how we grow, how we evolve.
And a lot of that is, following what we tell our partners to do is to create a spreadsheet of the, groups that you can join and the influencers that are presenting, or at least in front of the target audience that you're trying to reach, as well as, what hashtags they're looking for. Like, you can do a lot of this preemptive awareness building yourself, and it doesn't require anybody else. Then you add in the website, and then you can go back to those groups that you've already gotten the fans building up in, and you can send them the website link to actually sign up. We use a lot of our websites actually have, get notifications when we launch, or pre-launch notifications, or become a VIP, get on the list, get discounts. These are all ways that you can get people to sign up for your list. Because you don't have anything yet, it's very difficult to really drive people back unless you can offer something to them. Usually they want to have that discount or some sort of, first dibs. That's another one, like a nice call to action.
Collateral helps a long ways, like even if it's just educational and it's like a lure. And so if you have a piece of collateral because you're a subject matter expert or anything like that, that you can provide a piece of collateral. We're in the age of information and there's a lot of it, but when you can condense that and provide something that's meaningful to someone else, they will start to follow you. They will like sign up with you. They will they'll become a true fan.
Yeah, you could go for that direction of like thought leader if that's your topic that you really specialize in. You could actually have the blog up and offer, it just depends. I know products are a little bit harder, but like you said, collateral. I mean, that could also be, well, let's just say, because we have one of our partners, the life rafts, are up, right? So everything's launched for them. But they could do they are, well, can you just describe it real quick and then I'll say how they can do their freebie?
Oh, I love rooftop life rafts.
Yes.
It's so awesome because they're actually subject matter experts figuring out a way to prevent this huge problem, which is like no one wants a flood or a hurricane or anything to happen, but you should be prepared when that does. And so they spent the last 3 years building a system to help people survive that kind of environment, that kind of thing. They went to the top manufacturers of life raft. It modularly bullshit. So they're like and now it's building that awareness piece. They're such subject matter experts at it. They have the survival guys like following them. They have like it's huge. It's crazy that this kind of thing isn't like offered more often, because if you ever seen like Hurricane Harvey, there were 16,000 people on their roof. So this is a small example of a huge solution that someone solved. And now we're growing that through awareness. So then now they have news media following them. They have all this stuff. So it's building that awareness because they had an idea. They validated it and they went with it. And it's like, it's so cool to see this stuff happen.
It is. And they're subject matter experts in that they can write about, they can do the blogs, they can get in their articles into other publications about the topic. But even if they had, let's just say we like look back to the beginning before they built all this awareness up, like the beginning things that they could have done might have been like a checklist of what to do when there is a flood. They could offer something where people could actually sign up and get an item, even though they have a product.
Yes, and it's getting that like that foot in the door methodology really works. Like once you get the foot in the door and someone's like aware of this, like aware of you, aware of like what your value proposition is, then you've already got them initially. Right. And so now you just keep feeding them, and then they'll walk right through the door, and then now you all of a sudden have like you're selling product, they're downloading software, and like it just keeps growing from that.
And that's a good point. It does work for apps too.
Absolutely.
So this is one of those where I know I have my app and my product partners, and some of them are like, this doesn't apply. This does apply. You can definitely do the same thing.
And I can say this because I've done both. Like after my real career, we built a software platform to sell to medical doctors and or people going through their USMLE test. And what we did was we started an awareness campaign 8 months before we ever launched. And we ended up getting 1/3, I think 1/3 of the total market available purchased our product the first year, because we went and spoke at, like we did all this pre-launch stuff. That's hyper important, because you can't wait till launch to start building this awareness piece. You
Absolutely.
have to like have this fundamentally, like we're gonna start figuring out how, why, how much before it ever launches.
Absolutely. And this is, I know that you brought this up, like there's that fear. Should I say anything? Should I not? When in doubt, reach out to us and find out if you think, there are some cases where you may not see, it might be a little premature, but for the most part, once you have, you've got you're making progress, and maybe there's a point where it's a good starting time, but you can always be doing the awareness side. When it doesn't mention your product, you can be working on the topic area. So those, again, rooftop life rafts could have been writing about, floods, how, who's doing the recovery, who, they could write about it without ever saying what they did.
Absolutely. You don't have to show your whole hand.
Right.
Right off the bat. So you're still holding your hand, but you're trying to gauge the rest of the table. If like we're going to do like a poker analogy or something, because like it's hyper, and like that part is like, you don't have to turn all your cards over and be like, oh, I've got this gem that I'm holding on to. No, it's just trying to figure out how you tell that story message correctly. And that comes through refinement, and refinement is one of those things that take time. Like, even if you have the perfect, you still have to refine that messaging piece. And so it's very critical. And especially like if you're trying to do online awareness, downloads, all that stuff, it's start early, because again, you're going to be sandboxed by Google and all this other. Start early and then build upon that. Like, don't expect to, like, once anything exists, that there's automatically a following. Build a following.
Right? Don't we wish?
Like, it's like, oh, when I do this, everyone's going to do this.
Right? Actually,
everyone's going to want it. Like,
yeah,
like,
that's a common misconception about getting up on the apps and app stores, is like, oh, I'm up there now, they're going to come. I built it, they're going to come. That's you still need to generate the traffic to it. So, and we have a couple of people on our chat that actually built audiences. So I know that Bill over with High Rise Sports Chair, he built a Facebook group and started to get people into it way early, and that helped protect his idea. Not foolproof, but he definitely worked it and made it happen. And then Michael P. Ryan with Recite, he actually went into a group and kind of worked into that group and ended up becoming an admin. So he has a target audience of his ideal people. And the question is, like, and we're going to go on to the next two, I know, because this is a fun topic, but we have two more ideas for you too. But the idea behind where to put these leads, okay, you can go through MailChimp, you can go through really you could use an Excel worksheet for that matter if you wanted to collect the people. But the idea is that you are also nurturing them when they're in. Just because someone lands on your list does not mean they're going to stay hot. So you have to keep in touch with them. Give them little updates. And I know it's super hard when you don't know where things are at with your product or app. And so you can always be offering, again, that subject matter, expertise, maybe give them some little nuggets as you go. As far as time frame, because I know that was one of the questions I saw. I mean, you should be touching them, honestly, once a week. If you're not keeping them hot, then they're going to, when it comes time, you're probably going to have a pretty cold list. So if you can find something to do once a week, that might be just going on live like we're going live once a week. That's easy content. I can talk about subject matter, and then we can disperse that to people. So it might be an idea. You don't have to go live if you're a little afraid of that, though. Luckily, Ira is brave enough to come on with me.
Always.
So
it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, well, we loved just the information in Ira's head. All of the guys that are over at IdeaPros, everyone, that the team is amazing, and I just love to pick their brains every now and then. So we're going to find out about Ira's experience with intent to purchase. So what is this, and why, and how can this be like the next phase in this process?
And I think this is getting to be like what we found, because I've pre-sold product, I've had software downloads, but this intent to purchase is a very, very valuable piece. Like you said, nugget, like this is a nugget. So after your awareness campaign, you can sign up a lot of people to do so. Like a lot of people will become aware of what you're doing. It's then, how do I like expect the monetization? Because for the most part, we're looking to make money off of this stuff, or to get people to put in money. And so when we say intent to purchase, it's more like what we consider a validation. So intent to purchase means someone took out their credit card, which is hard to do. Like, I'll sign up for emails, but I might not take out my credit card, and gave you, we usually start at $1. They gave you $1 for a future discount. either increase sales or sales, but they actually did that follow through. And so one of the things that we kind of like came across was that in this intent to purchase, it really starts to solidify who's going to buy from you in a drastically greater manner than just your awareness campaign. So if you started with 100 people in your awareness campaign, you might have 1 to 3% usually that will purchase your product when it comes to assistance. But if you have a intent to purchase campaign, which is they gave you $1 to $100, whatever that number is, intent to purchase has around a 30% traction rate. And so these are huge, powerful statistics that you can take to someone else, and it's validation of your idea that's future coming. It's in the future. And this hasn't been possible, honestly, until like now. Like it's not been a thing that's been possible. And so that's with technology where like I have an intent to purchase this, and if worst case scenario, you donate their money back or give it back to them. Like donate it to charity or give it back to them.
That's another question that people tend to ask is, well, that, we don't have our product ready. And so how does that all work? You could be doing that intent to purchase is attached to a something that they do physically receive, not physically, but like digitally receive. Like they're going to get a packet, and that's a deliverable. So I know there's some questions around the pre-order and that you can only do it a certain amount. And we're going to talk about that next, but you have to be within a certain amount of the delivery of it. So this one is a little different. You wrap it around a different offering, and it still is an intent. They got their card out. I cannot tell you how important for them to buy something. And this can also be, I've seen it done. Billie Jean Marketing, they sent like, you get this free, but you have to pay for shipping. You're like, it's an intent to purchase, same thing. Very
free
effective.
Plus shipping is awesome if you have a product you can ship, because basically the product cost comes out of the shipping cost.
Right.
And so it's $4.99, like free plus shipping, $9.99. Like you're giving them the product, but what you're really doing is validating that that's your customer base that you can go back to, which is one of those other things. It's like, if you're in an area, try to sell something in that realm.
Yes.
Before you sell your version to your best thing or download your best thing. Like just try to get that, like try to figure out who that person is and who actually is attracted to my offering.
So, which is a little tricky for some of you that don't have a first version / second version. However, the idea of looking at what competitors are doing, I know a lot of these, that's a really good window into what will or could work for you, is really researching. And when you get to this phase, as far as the purchasing, when you're in the sales side, now you can look at things that people are doing from an advertising standpoint. I cannot tell you how many resources there are to see what ads competitors are running. So when you get to this phase, you can really start putting some meat behind it and be able to do this action. But intent to purchase is usually through say ClickFunnels or some software that's going to let you take a purchase and that you're going to deliver something back to them, or just give them access to the VIP. Now, if you are an app, you guys actually have that ability to get people into a beta group. So what this looks like for apps is more of the, hey, sign up for the beta. And then, we don't have money exchanged in that case, but you're getting a little bit more than awareness, though. I think this is more like, hey, I am ready. I want to be part of the first team to try this out. So that might involve downloads of the beta version.
Absolutely. And and that core audience, it helps you shape what you're going to deliver. And so it's so fundamentally important to like take that into consideration, like take that as like valuable. It's valuable information that you're getting basically by incorporating like a group, like this group. Like it can be a private Facebook page. It can be and they're talking with you it's this experience. You're building that experience.
I love that idea too. On this intent to purchase, create a community around it. That's a great point.
Absolutely. Not to lead in it too much, but we know some some of our friends sold about 13 to 14 million dollars worth of bicycles by creating a private Facebook group that allowed them to help build the bicycle.
That's crazy. Just
Right?
from a Facebook group.
Well, with an intent to purchase as well. Like an intent to
That's
purchase locks you in, and that's like things like getting your getting a group established when you have an intent to purchase, a follow-on campaign that then locks you into this Facebook group, like, and then spacing your pitch. And so yeah, like it was powerful, and I think that was like the biggest crowdfunding like campaign last year, at least on Indiegogo, or this year on Indiegogo.
Oh, cool. Well, apparently Ben over there is saying that he really needed this this live. So I'm glad this information's helping you. We have even more information for you. One last point that I'm going to put up here on the screen, and that's the third step or process. Step of this would be actually going into pre-sales and sales. So tell us a little bit more about what that would look like.
So once you've done these first two components, this becomes a lot easier because now you have you've figured out what's going on. So pre-sales and sales. Pre-sales seems to right now, I don't want to say it's a flooded market, but there's a lot of ad spend and people putting decent budgets behind promoting pre-sales currently, or sales. So if you have a high enough price point item or a reason to do this, it seems to be easier to generate pre-sales with those because higher price point items usually incur so much more like initial costs, like so much more. If you have a lower price point item, you should just like, once you figured out the first two, like, and it's a right fit and you realize you're going to move forward with this, like you can either buy units and start distributing them. So you can go through pre-sales or sales. And it's kind of like a per use basis, or like, again, we've done the software thing as well, but product's fascinating and it's fun and nothing happens instantly. And so like when you have this vision of this dream, like start building that roadmap so you can get to sales, downloads, or monetization capacity, like how you're going to do that. And then you can start to build your forecasting model. And it's the easiest thing to ever show investors is like, I had these people sign up, these people download or purchase, and then through beta or something else. And then now I'm going to go monetize this. So give me money, like give me extra money. Cause then that's gasoline for your awesomeness. It's like, and you can just start to ramp from there. But yeah, like, and sales is super fun. Like when you finally get into sales, like sell one. That's the only thing you have to do. Sell one, like to possibly not your mom, but like it's still like sell one unit, and then you like it starts this tipping point, and then you'll start to figure out like the rest of it. But it's getting this whole build up to sell one unit, then turn it into 10, 100, 1,000. Like just add zeros to things and it starts doing different math for every occasion. So yeah. I can't hear you, Tessa.
Oh, I'm like on mute. When you've done all these steps right too, that's when the investors start to say yes more, right? So you can get the attention of investors when you've put into this plan and you show the results, and then you can actually forecast, like you said, and move your product forward. But investors need a certain amount of data. So throughout this whole process, you are tracking and making sure that you're logging the details, right? So that it's easy to go back to investors.
Absolutely. And then you don't have to tell your story as hard. You're like, here's the proof. Right. And so like it's really easy story then. It's like I had 1,000 people sign up. I had 100 people have an intent to purchase, and I just sold my first unit. And so it just, or my first 10,000 units or 10,000 downloads. And so, it makes it a lot, I don't know, little steps run marathons. And so
that's true. That's a good point. Well, in fact, I'm just going to mention, because I know I see you over there, Aziza. Aziza's Raw Beauty Co. is in pre-sales. So stop by rawbeautyco.com. And I love this product. I know you guys have heard me talk about it. There's a scrub. It's heaven. I can't explain it other than it's like spa level quality, amazing natural products. So check it out. I know we have Bill over with High Rise Sports Chair. And Bill, you didn't put your website in there, but you put your email, but that's okay. I'll put it up. And
Want to be the coolest person. Like, that thing draws more attention. We took it out to the beach here in San Diego and set it up, and they're like, "What are you, a lifeguard?" And it's awesome. Like, that one's awesome. Like, it's just like, if you like attention, at least. If you don't like attention, or you don't like anyone commenting on how awesome your hair is, then don't ever like get that thing, because it's just
it puts you up so much higher. So yeah. I know it. All of these, I mean, I'm so proud of our partners. We have so many. I mean, I know Sage is coming out. Thank you, Sean Reed, for being here. We had a lot of people that said they got nuggets today. So thank you very much, Ira, for having such a great topic. And everyone, we're here every Friday at noon Pacific time. So let us know what topics you want us to cover. If we're not covering something that's really that's a challenge in your business, you need to let us know so I can find the right resource. We have so many there at IdeaPros. Someone's going to be able to answer your questions. So you can actually fill out the form in our post to submit a question if you don't want to do it while you're live with us. And you can also get reminders in there. So don't forget to hit the bell so that you can visit us live. And we'll see you guys all next week. Well, before I jump off and make you leave, do you have any final thoughts? I know Fred likes to sum everything up.
Yeah. Final thoughts would be that these 3 fundamental steps keep building this process. And so it's never too early to start. And then it's like working out or anything else. Like, start. And nothing's going to happen instantly. So the more you prepare, the more validation you get, and the better you can pinpoint that, the more prepared you are for the actual like sale launch, and then when the real journey starts, which is growth. So get prepared early and put yourself out there. That's one of the biggest ones. Like,
I love it. Thank you so much, Ira. And I'm just going to take a couple minutes. I'll go big screen and say, just give my highs to everyone while you take off. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tessa.
Bye.
You're awesome. All right.
Oh, thanks. So guys, I just wanted to take a minute because I know we do this every week and I don't say hi to everyone, but today I just wanted to let you know that I am here. I see you. So Kelly, Sean, thank you so much. Vanessa, Bill, thank you again. And Corey over there with Bongo. Good to have you here. Stephanie, and Jim, Michael, Aziza, Mel. I mean, so many people on today's live. I just appreciate you guys. Anna, Brent. Oh, I love it. Can Ira surf in the suit? Probably. Ira can do. He jumps off cliffs. He's crazy, fun guy. So he probably could. Kendall, thank you guys. Pam, Odin, Maddie Sek, nice to have you. I hope everything's going well with your project. I know you're busy over there in Africa. Donna Stewart and Aaron, Steve. I know we almost had Steve on today with Eclipse, and we didn't get to pull him in, sadly, but Jess, great to see you. So if you guys have any questions, Ben, I know I mentioned you earlier, but it's great to have you back. And if you guys have any questions, please submit them. It helps me to create the content that really helps you. We'll see you guys all next week. Have a blessed week.